On this episode of DockSide TV, we're going to be going to the trusty trestle, catching nice trout on the new Shad. This is in the glass minnow color. Blakely's got one in her hand right there. This is a really cool color. Very hard to get a color match on a glass minnow, also known as like a ribbon minnow, and I feel like we kind of knocked this one out the park with the way we spray painted and hand painted these things to look just like a glass minnow. In your Matrix subscription box this month, you're going to get a sample pack. Look, show them the sample pack. You get a sample pack of of a lot of the colors right there, and we're mimicking different bait fish for different times of the year on the Gulf Coast. So enjoy this. I hope you really enjoy this subscription box. I hope you like this episode where we're using the glass minnow, and enjoy this episode of DockSide TV. Alright guys, we're on the trusty trestle. Everybody knows this area. Everybody knows this time of year it gets good. Been seeing a few glass minnows in the water, so I decided to go with this one that we're going to call the glass minnow and the Shad. And this is a bad boy right here. Watch how much that this lure replicates a glass minnow. And for you, those of you who don't know exactly what a glass minnow is, it's also called a rain minnow. It's the ribbon minnow I think I've heard before. It's the one with the little silver line right down the middle. So it's kind of like a, you know, this style color, like a smokish color, and it's got a lot of chrome right down the middle. This is about as close as you can get on mimicking it. We're gonna put this on a 3/8 ounce black platinum, and the reason I went with black today, I think this is just gonna look so sharp. Black on black like this here. And that's how you thread it on. You go in about a 1/2 inch, push it on, and you want your lure to be nice and straight, just like that right there. Look how good that looks. And then we're gonna go over some of the more simple things today that I forget to mention on some episodes. So a lot of times I get people ask what knot we tie. Favorite knot, polymer. You just take your end of your line, fold it over, and then pinch it down, and you push it through your eye hole. And all you do is tie your regular overhand knot, simplest knot in the world, overhand knot, and you take that access loop right there, pull the lure through, pull it tight right there. I wouldn't advise using your teeth, but I do. So there we go. Look at this puppy in the water. Oh yeah, this little dude's about to get lit up. Let's see if we can get a few. Oh, good fish here, guys. Oh yeah, good fish. Look at that beauty. That glass minnow hanging right out his mouth. Look how dark that fish is. We've discussed this in a lot of Lake Pontchartrain DockSide TVs. I'm not a biologist. I don't know what exactly does that, but I do find when we get our first run of trout in the springtime on these bridges, they're almost always very dark like this. There he is. And if you can watch how my reaction was to that, the lure was falling down. I saw the line straighten out. I knew to set the hook, knew it was a fish. Oh, it just got in the boat. Again, on that glass shad, this thing's doing damage. I knew it would. It looks so fine in the packaging. But that's the key I wanted to talk about, is being able to watch your line. It's going to visually let you see the strike. You know, a lot of people use braid, a lot of people use fluorocarbon. It's all good, all has its place. Out here in Pontchartrain, you typically don't need fluoro because the water's not quite clean enough. We like to use this mono here. It's our matrix line, and it's got a slight blue hue to it. That way you can see it. You can watch the line. It's called line washing. It's a technique by a lot of bass pros when they're fishing deep water, or like a jig and pig or something like that. They're always watching the line. Fish on, fish on.
Sir. You're doing acrobatics up in here.
Acrobatic fish. Right now we're what I like to call, we're chasing the incoming tide. That's something that I really like to do this time of year. Springtime, I want the current coming into the lake, bringing in bait fish, new speckled trout, new crustaceans. It really, I really like incoming tides in the spring. We've been over this many a times, but I'm going to say it again in case you hadn't seen it. When fishing a trestle, you get a cast at like 45-degree angles as you lead up to each set of pilings. About 10 foot deep. Oh, there it is. About 10 foot deep. So it takes about 10 seconds for a 3/8 ounce jig head to hit the bottom. You want it to hit the bottom, and you're going to do a repetitive retrieve back to the boat after each cast. So a little 45-degree angle towards the pilings. Helps you fish with just enough slack to present a good presentation. 10 seconds, hits the bottom, and I see it with my eyes. I can see the slack in my line knowing when it hits the bottom. That's another important reason to use line that you can visually see. And we just like to hop it up off the bottom and then kill it, let it fall back to the bottom. You know, our X shads are in several different styles of colors, and just depending on what kind of food for the fish is in the area, whether you're seeing a lot of pogies, a lot of glass minnows like we're seeing here, I would advise going with that kind of mimic of a lure, trying to mimic that specific bait fish. We got some that we're going to be doing that look like a mullet, a cockahoe. We'll probably do a storm minnow in the future. That way, for every time of the year, it's a different food that speckled trout, redfish, bass, whatever, like to feed on. And right now, I've always found the bridges in Pontchartrain to have a good bit of glass minnows in the springtime. And that's why I wanted to go with this one today and make this one for the spring run. Get some good action. It's amazing how fast this water's cleaned up on us. It's been filth for months. Pearl River was at almost all-time highs for a very long period of time. Finally, the Pearl goes to drop out a little bit. Boom, immediately, like overnight, we got enough green tint, and then all of a sudden the trout are here. It's amazing how fast things can happen. I always question, I wonder, were the fish here in the dirty water not feeding, or did they just immediately show up with the clean water? I mean, I was here 2 days ago, and you couldn't see 6 inches down. Now I could see 25 inches down, maybe. And that's what you need, just a little visibility. Trout are very rarely going to be around dirty, dirty water. Because there's not much salt in the water still, but it is clean enough for them to see. Yeah, buddy. Look at it. Look what he spit up there. I don't know what that is, but that's
The last minnows.
something he spit up. Where'd my egg shad go? Rip that off.
Oh,
There
yeah,
it is in the water. Here, I'm gonna go back and get it. That ferocious head shake. He spit up some kind of minnow imitation. Could have been a glass minnow, like we discussed before. He also threw my lure off here. Come here. Oh, here we go. Okay, so let's talk about this fish. He was tight to the poles, right where they're supposed to be. We're using a 3/8 ounce black platinum. About a 16-inch fish or so. Go ahead and rig this again. See if he tore it. He might have tore it up too much. You know, matrix shads, the durability of the plastic on these and the original matrix is all the same. But certain times of the year, you're gonna notice you can get a lot more fish off of one lure, and that would be the winter time. So the warmer the water is, I got that back on there, you might get another fish out of it. The warmer the water is, the more the lures are gonna tear up. Right now it's about 75 degrees. Whenever you fish the winter, you'll notice when you're fishing at 60-degree water, I've had days of catching an entire lemon on one lure. So, let's see if we can get a few more. There he is. I figured we could get one more fish on that lure. Save a little money. I doubt I can get another one though. There we go, baby. Yeah, shake that head. Shake that head. You mad? You mad, huh? So back-to-back cast on the glass minnow X shad. Here's the other one right here. About cookie cutter size fish, twins. That's something we're starting to see a lot more this year is these flounder. These things are pretty much extinct the last 5 years. Most across the state can attest to this. But we've been catching 1 to 3 a day. Pretty typical springtime. Hopefully we get a good fall run when this happens. Another flounder. Boy, this is nice to see, guys. Flounders. Went a long time without seeing these beautiful, tasty creatures here. Good sight to see. We are kind of fishing trout right now, but the trestle is very well known for flounder being a common bycatch. Now we go from a flounder to a little redfish. You know, glass minnow, X shad catches a little bit of everything. Go ahead and put him on the measuring stick. See if he makes it. He's probably a little short. I hope not, because these are my favorite things to eat right here. Nope. 15 1/4. See you later, little buddy. Pretty impressive the amount of different species out here right now. We've caught several redfish, several different shapes and sizes of them, several flounder, and plenty of trout. Action's really good, very entertaining. These fish are really liking that new X shad. There he is. I had 3 bites on that one pile and I just kept plugging it in there. Finally actually connected with one. Another nice fish, solid 2-pound chunkers. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode of DockSide TV. Hope you subscribe to the Matrix Bait Box also. That way you'll get a pack of these new glass minnow X shads. They come in this really nice tray, help protect them. Be looking for the X shad in the stores. By the time you see this video, they'll probably be in the stores. But this will be coming out in the next subscription bait box. Make sure to check out if you really enjoy fishing the trestles or want to learn more about it or new to it. Just make sure you YouTube search DockSide TV, Trestle, Lake Pontchartrain. This is probably the 20th one we've ever shot out here. And I felt like it was no better place to put the new X shad to the test.